What's up guys, Murray here with Murray's Mobile Mechanics and welcome to the channel. Today I'm working on a 2019 Nissan Altima 2.5 liters 4-cylinder engine. This is the Airstream, so we are doing a CVT transmission service. You all know these CVT transmissions are not the very best, but the least we can do is service them. So this guy's got about 60 to 70,000 miles. So this is the first CVT transmission service we are doing. So it's just going to be a dump and fuel. Customer provided the fluid. All I'm doing is just the labor. So let me show you the setup and then I show you a few notes that I did jot down of all the process you're supposed to actually follow to get this job done. So these are the few notes that I did take note of. So in Arizona it's pretty hot, it's crazy guys, so there's a procedure that you need to follow. So this service we are doing it in the driveway, so you have to make sure the car is on a flat spot in your garage and then secure it on jack stands and make sure it is even. I did measure this one with my measuring tape, so this is a small procedure that you need to follow. I didn't write everything, I just jotted the most important things. So we are supposed to run the vehicle to 40 degrees Celsius, which is about 104 Fahrenheit, depending on where you are. And then we let the temperature of the fluid get to that, and then we're going to drain it and then fill it up with this amount of fluid, and then run the vehicle, run through the gears from park, reverse, neutral, drive, low. 5 seconds split between the gears. Make sure your foot is all the time on the brake pedal, and then the parking brake should be engaged. After that, all you're doing in that process is cycling the fluid in all the gears. After that, let the car run until the fluid temperature gets to between 35 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius, or 95 Fahrenheit to 113 Fahrenheit, depending on where you are. And then if you're using a lift, lift it up. If you're using the garage setup like mine, then you're supposed to actually drain it from the overflow drain plug. So the first thing I'm going to do is drain it from the overflow drain plug so that we see the trickle flow, and that's what we are going to do afterwards. So if you take it to the dealer, the process says from the draining plug, that's where you fill it up from, but in our case we're going to fill it up from the dipstick tube. Of course there's no dipstick, but there is that tube for the provision for the dipstick. So let me show you the setup and then we get this job going. So this is my setup. Like I said, you can see at the back I got 2 jack stands. I did measure with my measuring tape, and then I got my jack as support in the back. If you come to the front, you can see I got 2 jack stands as well. I did measure with my measuring tape, so this is even and we are good to go. So the funny part is the temperatures right now is 101 Fahrenheit, which is when I ran the vehicle the temperature was reading about 115, 190. So we don't need to actually let the car run. So what I'm going to do right now, let me crawl under the vehicle, show you what we're going to do next. And before we do that, I'm going to show you how to take off this dipstick cover, which is here. So the first thing we're going to do is take that out, and then we go under the vehicle and then we drain it. So this is my measurement. I measured on all 4 spots, and this is where we are right now. So let me show you how this comes out and then we go from there. What's up guys, so I'm going to show you how to take off this dipstick rubber grommet or cover. This gives a lot of people problems. All you need is a tiny screwdriver like this one. So in between the dipstick cover and the metal clip on the dipstick a tube right there, there's a tab that you need to push, so you have to go in between that. So let me show you. This is a metal piece for the dipstick tube, so you have to go in between like so, and then once you get that, push on the tab, and then you can actually take it off like so. So this is what I mean. Let me show you. So if you look right there, there is that tab right there, so you have to go in between right there, push it, and then pull it up. So that's how it comes out. So I'm just gonna put it just like so, and now let's go under the vehicle. We go ahead and start draining the fluid. What's up guys, so to drain the fluid I'm going to use my tin foils. I like these because we're going to measure the right amount of fluid we are going to take out. That's the amount we're going to actually fill this vehicle with. So let me set myself up and then we get going. What's up guys, so right now I'm under the vehicle. So on the driver's side, this is where the transmission pan is, and on the passenger side, that's where your oil pan is. So this is what we are doing today, is a dump and fill. This is your drain plug for the transmission. It's a 90mm socket, and this is the filler port that you're supposed to fill it up from, but we use the dipstick tube right there. So our first service is a dump and fill, so we just dump whatever is in here and then we'll fill it up with the right amount. I'm using my tin foils, so we'll measure what comes out, and that's what we're going to fill up the vehicle with. So the next service, there's a filter in here. You have to take the transmission pan out, and then there's another filter right here, a couple of 10mm bolts, I think 4 of them. So the next service we're going to service with the filters. So for now, let me set myself up, and then we drain. We'll start with draining from right here so that we can watch the trickle flow from here, so that when we fill it up, we actually correspond with what the flow will be. So let me set myself up and then we get going. So this is a 14mm bolt. This is the one right here, and we're going to use a 40mm socket with the ratchet. Now we'll switch to our main drain plug. We just wanted to watch the trickle flow so that when we put the new fluid, we know what the flow will be. So this is a 90mm bolt. We're using a 90mm socket with the ratchet. So pretty much it's just dripping right now, so we'll go ahead and put back our drain plug. So you make sure you start inspecting the drain plug. This is the one. It looks okay, no metal shavings or whatsoever. So I'm going to put this one back on. Customer did not buy a crash washer, so we use the same one. It's not bad. We are going to actually reuse this one the next time we use a new one. So I'll go ahead and just put the drain plug back on. This one doesn't take too much torque, so all you have to do is just snag it. That's all you need. I'll leave the torque spec in the link description below. So that's all you need. Wipe off the excess fluid, and then what we're going to do right now is we're going to measure this fluid that we drained. We're going to put it in a jar, measure it, and then we make sure we put in the right amount, and then we go from there. What's up, guys? So right now you can see I got my jar right here, and then this is the fluid that came out of the vehicle. Look how black it looks, and now you're going to see the difference with the new fluid. So right now I'm gonna pour this into the jar. I'm gonna take my time. I don't want to spill anything. What's up, guys? So this is how much we got, which is about 3.7 3.8 coats right there. You can see, and look how nasty this fluid is. So dark, so brown, looks like chocolate right there. So let me dip my finger so that you can actually see how brown it is. So you see the new fluid will look a little bit different, fresh, and it will look bluish. So pretty much this is how much we actually got out of the vehicle. So we are going to fill it up with the same amount, and then pretty much we'll go from there. What's up, guys? So it's time to fill up this vehicle with the fresh transmission fluid. I always recommend, if you're doing this service, just use the genuine Nissan transmission fluid from Nissan, and that's the NS3 right there. So make sure you grab some from the dealership. I don't know how much it will cost. I'll leave the price in the link description below. So right now it's time to fill up the vehicle with the fresh fluid. You will see the difference in color, and then we took out about 3.8 coats. We are going to actually fill it up with just pretty much 4 coats, and then since we are going to run it and then we are going to drain some, we are going to get the right trickle, and then we'll get the right amount. So check out the color in difference of the fluid we took out and the one we are going to fill it up with. You can see this one is bluish in color, so that was actually pretty nasty, and it was time for actually the service. So I'll put 4 coats. We'll just speed up the process from here. So we put 4 coats, and we are going to take off our funnel just like so. We're going to wipe our dipstick drum it right there, or cover, and then we are going to actually plug it in. So the one thing I just want to point out, make sure all the containers are sealed with these sealers after you take off the cap, to make sure you got the right amount and you got a solid bottle right there. So right now I'm going to go inside the vehicle. We'll run the vehicle, cycle through the gears, 1 foot always on the brake, and then we'll let the car run until we get to about 45 degrees Celsius, which is 113 Fahrenheit, and then we are going to drain off some fluid. We watch the trickle, and then we'll know where we are from there. What's up, guys? So right now I'm in the vehicle, foot on the brake, and then we'll start our vehicle, and then we'll just cycle through the gears from park to reverse. You can count 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We go to neutral, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go to drive and do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And go to low, do the same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can just go back. Back to park, and then we'll cycle through one more time to reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you can do this a couple times, but for now that's all we need to do. We've cycled through the gears and we've made sure the gears are shifting, and that's all we needed. So what we're going to do is we are going to watch the temperature for the fluid, which is right here. We're supposed to get I believe we're supposed to get to 113, and we are at 116 right now, 118. So we just go down the vehicle, and then we are going to drain while the car is running, and then we go from there. So while the car is running, we're going to drain from the filler port right there. That looks okay, so go ahead and put back this plug. It should be good right there. It's the same flow as before. And all we gotta do right now is tighten that bolt, and we should be good to go. Wipe off all the excess oil and make sure you got no leaks. In our case, everything looks good, and pretty much that's all you do the CVT transmission service, especially the first one, without changing the filters on the 2019 Nissan Altima. Thanks for watching. Like always, please subscribe, like, and share for more tips on how to fix your vehicles. Marais here with Marai's Mobile Mechanics, signing out. Stay blessed, be good, and we'll see you on the next one. What's remaining right now is just taking this car on the test drive, and we should be good from there.